Understanding MicroStrategy's 7-step flywheel effect will actually help us understand Michael Saylor's brand new $8 million Bitcoin prediction he made at BTC Prague this week. Okay, so what is this 7-step flywheel effect that I'm actually talking about today? Okay, I'm going to bring this image up for you guys. So this is the flywheel effect. As you can see, this is a really cool little image that I found on Twitter. I tried to find the original author who popped it out, but I couldn't find them. So again, credit where credit is due. I didn't make this one. But as we can see, let's go through each of these 7 steps before I actually play you guys the video of Michael Saylor at BTC Prague explaining how Bitcoin gets to $8 million. Okay, so let's start in order with this flywheel effect. So we can see step number 1, MicroStrategy issues debt to buy Bitcoin. They've done this on a numerous amount of occasions. Step number 2, BTC increases, MicroStrategy market cap increases. We've seen this happen for the past 4 years, okay? Again, for those who may not be fully aware, we can see that MicroStrategy stock has pretty much only really, let's be clear, it's increased in a volatile fashion over the past 4 years. Okay, so we had a massive rally in 2021, big correction in the 2022 bear market. And once again, MicroStrategy stocks had a massive rally in 2024. Okay, so MicroStrategy stock has gone up, so has the price of Bitcoin. Okay, so that's step number 2. Step number 3, MicroStrategy market cap increases, weight in indices increases. So this means MicroStrategy gets bigger in the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. Then this is where things get interesting. Step number 4, MicroStrategy issues equity to buy Bitcoin. So what exactly does that mean? Well, that's kind of exactly what happened this week. MicroStrategy proposes 500 million convertible note to boost their Bitcoin stash. Okay, so that is essentially step number 4. Now let's go back to step number 5. After MicroStrategy buys more Bitcoin, of course, what happens? Bitcoin increases. Then MicroStrategy market cap also increases because it has Bitcoin on the balance sheet. And guess what else happens? Once their market cap increases, MicroStrategy's weight in the indices, the NASDAQ and the S&P 500, also increases. So guess what happens then? MicroStrategy, once again, issues more equity to buy Bitcoin. And step number 7, the cycle repeats, okay? This is what I call the 7-step MicroStrategy flywheel effect, okay? I think it's very interesting. It's incredibly interesting because as we can see, MicroStrategy's been playing this game for the past 4 years, okay? We can see right now they hold about $14 billion worth of Bitcoin. They bought the top, they bought the bottom, they bought the top again, and they bought the bottom again. MicroStrategy is absolutely not slowing down. And this flywheel effect is even more interesting because this kind of just feels like Michael Saylor week. He's been in the news so much, okay? 6 days ago, MicroStrategy proposes $500 million in convertible notes to boost Bitcoin stash. Then guess what came out only a couple of days later? Well, there was actually too much interest in these MicroStrategy convertible notes. So now they're going to be buying $700 million of Bitcoin. And what else also came out this week? We covered this on a live stream briefly on the bitcoinnews.com YouTube channel, where we kind of talked about Bernstein, a $725 billion asset manager, came out and actually predicted that they believe MicroStrategy could hit $2,890 per share in the next 2 years. That's a pretty big increase, mind you. A very big increase. For those who missed that live stream, Bernstein also said that they believe Bitcoin can hit $1 million by 2033. And they also kind of quietly admitted that they believe in the Bitcoin power law because they said, okay, we think Bitcoin can hit $200,000 this cycle. That's their words. They believe we're having a normal cycle. Bitcoin's going to top, quote unquote, at $200,000. Then they believe that by 2029, Bitcoin can be 500K. That's the year after the 2028 halving. And then they said in 2033, the year after the 2032 halving, Bitcoin will be worth at around $1 million. So if you actually look at a power law chart, Bernstein's predictions are essentially aligned with the power law. So it's interesting. We got a $725 billion asset manager, not only saying that they believe in the Bitcoin power law, but they also saying that MicroStrategy stock is set to benefit. So this has all happened this week. It's pretty interesting. Again, Michael Saylor's all in the news. And this also came out this week, June 13th. MicroStrategy to redeem $650 million of 2025 convertible notes and settle all conversion requests in shares. Okay. So this MicroStrategy put out this debt offering, or this convertible note offering, I should say, a couple of years ago. And this is a little bit complicated, above my pay grade, so to say. But I think the TLDR of this little announcement is just simply saying that they're paying off their debt. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's the simplest way to explain or simplify that one. Now, we've talked a little bit about Michael Saylor's $8 million Bitcoin price prediction. And I am going to be talking about this a lot more later on today on YouTube. But I want to play you guys a very, very interesting video. This is another little snippet from Michael Saylor's, speech that he gave at BTC Prague today. It was released today, but this came from his speech at BTC Prague, the biggest conference in Europe, earlier in the week. Okay, so let's play this one for you guys.
And when I first started buying Bitcoin, I was buying it at $9,500. But that's okay. I'll buy it at $95,000. And then I'll be buying it at $950,000. And when it gets to $950,000, there'll be some whiny person, a talking head on television, saying it looks overbought right now. It looks a little bit heated. We think it's going to trade down to 700,000. And they'll miss it. It'll go to 8 million. And they'll buy it at 8 million. And they will get Bitcoin at the price they deserve. And when I first started buying Bitcoin, I was...
So that was one of Michael Saylor's rules for Bitcoin. Everybody gets Bitcoin at the price they deserve. And I thought that little story that he told was a really, really interesting one. He said, I'll be buying Bitcoin at, $950,000 per Bitcoin. But you're going to hear lots of whiny little talking heads on the mainstream media telling you that they know that Bitcoin's due for a correction, it's overbought, and it's going to $700,000. This is your power law model maximalist, okay? They're going to tell you, Bitcoin's one standard deviation above the power law model. Time to sell, time to sell. And what Michael Saylor believes could potentially happen is Bitcoin rips to $8 million, okay? Now, again, we don't want to paraphrase what he said incorrectly, but I actually think something similar certainly could happen. Okay, I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know what price it's going to happen. Michael doesn't either. He's obviously just making an example in this speech, but I think something like this could happen. It could certainly happen this cycle. Bitcoin could be at $400,000, where a standard or two standard deviations above the power law trend. Everybody's selling their Bitcoin. Bitcoin, maybe it corrects a little bit, but it rips to $1 million a coin. Who knows? Nobody knows where the price of Bitcoin is going to go. That's why I really, really enjoyed this speech, or this rule that Michael Saylor put out there, okay, in his 21 rules for Bitcoin. Everybody gets Bitcoin at the price they deserve, okay? There's going to be a lot of people who are going to lose a lot of Bitcoin over the next 5 or 10 years because they're going to try to outsmart the markets, okay? We actually did a live stream for you guys somewhat recently where we showed you that the majority of Bitcoin's gains come in only 12 days every single year, okay? So there's a lot of people who are trading in and out of the market, and they can very comfortably get left behind on those very crucial 12 days. And these pumps, or these rallies that we do see in these 12 days, they typically come pretty unexpectedly, okay? So again, I thought this was a little bit of timeless wisdom from Michael that we had to discuss today, alongside the 7-step flywheel strategy. If you do want to learn more about Bernstein's $1 million Bitcoin prediction, we actually went live yesterday talking about that as well as their $2,890 MicroStrategy prediction. So if you want to learn more about that, we've got an image of a video up on screen right now for you guys to check out, and we'd encourage you to check that one out. That's funny, Johnny Midas. It's a great comment. The 12 days of Christmas. That's a great way to phrase it. I wish I'd thought of that myself. That's brilliant. Those 12 days where we see those aggressive Bitcoin rallies are the 12 days of Christmas, so to say. We've also got Bill in the chat. I'm not selling. Just scooped up some more yesterday and today. Great stuff, Bill. Me too. Stacking nearly every day. And these prices are incredible opportunities to buy. So great to see the regulars in the chat. We got McLovin and Johnny, and we got Nick G. I might have saw you in a live stream earlier today. G'day, Nick. Hope you're doing well. With all that said, guys, might end this live stream here. We got 710 of you guys watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like the video, smash the like button. I think that's what the kids say these days. That might help put the video in front of the eyeballs of more people. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Nobody's, again, I think the key takeaway here is that when Godzilla walks in the room, all of your models will be destroyed. That's what Michael Saylor said at Prague this week. I think that's interesting advice to consider when everybody's so sure of where the price of Bitcoin is going to go. So thank you so much, Johnny. Thanks, Nick, and thanks, Liftoff. We'll see you guys in the next live stream.